Hello and welcome back to Farawa. This is one of the first mornings in a while that the sun has shone on the walls of our dorm room. A start to a good day. It illuminated my decor and bounced on branches. I finished my laundry got dressed, packed up my things, and headed out. It's Saturday, and I'm going to do some work on my paintings. This will be the second time I am doing a real oil painting piece. I had tried it once before in high school, but it has been a while since, and now I am getting actual teacher instructions. In my last semester art class, we had a classroom that was a throughway to other classes. It was also used by other art classes as well. So during the weekends, or if you came back to work on a project, you might not get your exact seat, which was sometimes a bit of a problem when we were working from still lives. But in this class, we have a studio that is just for us. It is a private room and really nice to be able to go there whenever we want and work on our art in a room that's all to ourselves. Here's the first oil painting piece I did in this class. It is supposed to be based on the work of Jenny Saville, so I focused on color and especially the veins. For the next piece, we pick 4 parts of our skin that we want to focus on and use 4 different techniques to paint them: impasto, scumbling, glazing, and a 4th of our choosing. We were encouraged to work from life, but could take reference photos as well. One of the ones that I took the most photos for was my eye. I wanted to focus on all of the different colors and textures within and around my eye. For my glazing piece, I chose my inner elbow. The goal was to be able to see some of the glaze through the layers. I began with this orange-red base and built it up by using solvent, which my teacher recommended, and liquid, which my uncle recommended. It took a little while to get used to these paints, because they are old and a bit dry. Some of them were given to me by my uncle, and some of them were given to me by my mom. My uncle gave me this beautiful wooden box to keep them in. It makes my paintings feel a bit more personal to be using these second-hand paints, especially ones from people that I care about so much. Anyway, I chose my inner elbow because of the subtle colors that I thought would be good to try to achieve through glazing. I painted some blue and purple veins and glazed over them, as well as dabbed on this splotchy redness on my arm, which I think I was pretty successful with. Also, the freckles on my inner elbow form a frowny face, with 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth when I bend my elbow, which I thought was kind of a cute detail to focus on. By the way, in this case, glazing is essentially mixing some of the color with something to dilute the paint, like liquid or solvent, or even linseed oil. But all of those do different things to the drying time and stuff, but overall it's just kind of diluting the paint and building up layers. For the impasto, I chose my fingers. In the winter, my hands get quite chapped and dry, and often crack and bleed a bit as well as change colors in the cold. I have some pictures of when they have broken open, including when I was painting them, but I figure some of you may not want to see that. And let me tell you, no matter how much lotion I put on, it won't fix it, and I have tried so many methods over the years. It does help a bit, but they are still leathery and fairly dry. I've been a bit self-conscious about them because I feel like they feel like reptile skin and look like they belong to a much older person. But honestly, this painting was sort of a way of appreciating them because they worked so well for the impasto technique. It made them seem kind of beautiful the way I was able to work with the paint and palette knife to achieve the colorful and patterned texture of my fingers and cuts. I built up the layers and added even more colors for depth, and just trying to go all out with spotting all of the aspects of my fingers. After a quick break, I moved on to my eye. With the sfumato technique, basically, think of the Mona Lisa. The sfumato technique involves a very soft blending. I had done a base in blue, which is not part of the technique, I just chose to do it, which didn't help me with the color, but it did help me establish a sense of value and shape. I tried my best to color match, which was difficult because all of the different shadows and surrounding colors, and even depending on what light I used, it changed the kind of warmth or coolness of my skin. I ended up changing positions and lighting a few times, and then decided I just had to go with one of them. After a while, I got into a bit of a groove and felt pretty good. Then I focused on the iris and how detailed I wanted to go. Using the sfumato technique, I wasn't sure how sharp and detailed I should go in the iris, since it is supposed to be fairly soft. But I decided to leave that for another time, and that it was a good point to clean up and head back to the dorm. The next morning started in the sun. I got a yummy breakfast and enjoyed watching part of the last episode of my favorite show before heading out to paint again. This time I worked more on the scumbling piece. This is when you use a fairly dry brush to apply paint in tiny swirls or swishes to really see the texture. I chose my nose because the pink and red on my cheeks sometimes looks blotchy, and I thought that scumbling would do a great job of showing that texture. After doing some more work on that, I am now nearly done for the morning. I took a little break and texted my friend to see if she was available, and we went on a little nature walk. It was a lovely break to get out in the fresh air and have a walk about before returning back to my painting later that day. I was focusing on the iris again, and honestly, I don't really know how this jumped between these two images because I didn't record me painting that part, but I changed up the pose slightly with the eyelid. Also, I got paint on my jacket, and I will have to ask my teacher or look it up how to get that out because now I have paint on my favorite backpack as well, and also my pants and my shirt. So yes, I'm very messy. The next morning was another lovely sunny sunrise, and I did some finishing touches on the other pieces as well as adding some fine details to the eye such as shine and little bumps and freckles. The following morning, the morning of the critique, began with this fantastic sunrise. I got breakfast and arrived early to see if there was anything I wanted to add. I think I touched up a few things while listening to a murder ballad mix by Spotify, which was actually quite good. I don't know, I felt like trying something new. Then I decided how to hang them up. I chose this diagonal instead of a straight line and arranged them so similar colors and facial concepts were alternating. Also, someone pointed out that it looked like the eye was looking at my other features, which was cool. Overall, I'm very proud with how they turned out, and it was a lot of fun doing. Someone during the critique had said it seemed like the artist had spent a lot of time really closely observing all of these things about themselves, and I appreciated that because I do like to look at the fine details of things. Someone else said that it felt like the opening shots to some indie movie in the summer with cricket sounds or something, and I just thought that was beautiful. Overall, I took some things that were sort of insecurities, like the little red dot on my nose or my dry wrinkly fingers, and by giving them some of their own focus and working with them to see what technique would best represent them, I think I actually helped make them less into an insecurity and more into something special about me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing my process, and I am really enjoying oil painting, and I'll probably show you some more in the future. I hope to see you in the next video, and goodbye for now from Farawa.